So let's talk about compounding. Now, you've probably heard of the concept when it comes to things like investments, this idea that your interest creates interest, and then, compounding is the eighth wonder of the world, as Warren Buffett would say. I want to talk a little bit about how that relates to lifestyle. So I previously did a video about happy, healthy, wealthy, and why it's important to balance those three. The same thing happens with compounding. So let's just take any of those three concepts. So investments, again, you're probably familiar with compounding and how that works, but let's also talk about relationships and health. So it probably doesn't seem like much when you swap out that salad instead of a burger, when you actually take steps to listen to your partner instead of just responding at the end of a pretty hard day that they're explaining to you. But those little behaviors that you have, those little 1%ers do stack up over time. And, it's hard to see over a 1 week or even 1 year period sometimes how that's putting you on a different trajectory. But over a 10-year, 20-year period, these things really start to become quite, the contrast is quite stark. The equivocation would be if you're on a plane, you're leaving Launceston from Tasmania and you're heading up to Cairns to escape the winter. If that plane's off by 1 degree, by the time you travel that few thousand kilometres, you've missed the mainland entirely. The same thing could be said for, you want to have a fit body, a sound mind, a loving relationship. Those little decisions over time, every single day, they will get you far off the track by the time you travel 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, etc. Same thing for planning your retirement. Again, same thing for being fit in your 70s instead of, using a walking frame. So that's the compound effect, both positively as well as negatively. So it's really important that you are focusing on your minute decisions, day to day, week to week, and not to berate yourself if you're going off track. Again, the simplest analogy would be if you're at the top of a mountain and you're skiing down it, you go, gee, it's pretty cold. I want to get down to the lodge to have my hot chocolate and warm up. You don't just go straight down the hill. You actually duck and weave. And that's life as well. So sometimes you will feel like you're going off track. You're not really. As long as you adjust and come back in, you'll be perfectly fine. So again, another analogy, if you're driving a car and you're using a GPS and you miss a street, as long as you recalibrate, you recalculate the route, make sure you can still get there on time. Sometimes you might have to pay a toll because you use a toll bridge, it's a shorter route, you pay a premium for that. Maybe that's tax, maybe that's an additional retreat that you need to go on with your wife to reconnect. But yeah, very important that you focus on that concept. So yeah, compounding both positive and negative. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.